Miami is often imagined through beaches, palm trees, cruise ships, and nightlife. But behind that familiar image is a city with an unusually large role for its size. Located on the southeastern coast of Florida, Miami is not the biggest city in the United States, or even the biggest city proper in Florida. Yet it functions like a major international hub. Its influence comes from a mix of geography, migration, trade, tourism, finance, healthcare, and culture. Miami sits at the edge of the continental United States, facing the Caribbean and Latin America, while also being deeply connected to the rest of the American economy. That position has helped turn it into a city that feels both local and global at the same time. To understand Miami, it helps to look beyond the postcards and see how its location shaped its identity, its economy, and its role in the Americas. Miami is a coastal city in the southeast portion of Florida, serving as the county seat of Miami-Dade County. That coastal position is central to almost everything about it. The city grew at a crossroads between North America, the Caribbean, and Latin America, with ocean routes, air routes, and migration patterns all reinforcing its importance. Unlike many inland American cities that developed primarily around manufacturing or railroads, Miami's identity has always been tied to movement across water and borders. Its climate and coastline made it attractive to visitors and residents, while its location made it useful for commerce and travel. The city proper had 442,241 residents at the 2020 census, making it the second most populous city proper in Florida. But Miami's real scale becomes clearer when you look beyond the city limits to the surrounding metropolitan region. The Miami metropolitan area is much larger than the city itself. In South Florida, the metro area has an estimated 6.39 million residents, making it one of the largest metropolitan areas in the United States and a major population center in the Southeast. This matters because Miami's economy, culture, and transportation systems do not stop at municipal boundaries. People may live in surrounding communities, commute into the city, fly through its airports, work in regional industries, or participate in the broader South Florida economy. The metro area ranks as the fifth largest metropolitan area in the Southeast and the eighth largest in the country. So while the city proper is relatively compact, the Miami region functions as a vast urban network. That network gives Miami far more weight than its city population alone would suggest. One of the clearest signs of Miami's growth is its skyline. The city has the third largest skyline in the United States, with more than 300 high-rises, including 70 that exceed 492 feet, or 150 meters. That vertical growth reflects Miami's transformation from a resort-oriented coastal city into a dense urban center. High-rises concentrate offices, apartments, hotels, and luxury residences in a relatively small area, especially around downtown Miami and nearby neighborhoods. The skyline is more than a visual symbol, it reveals the pressure of population growth, global investment, and demand for coastal urban real estate. Miami's towers also show how the city has become a place where international capital, tourism, and domestic migration overlap. The skyline tells a story of ambition, wealth, density, and the challenges of building a major city on the edge of the sea. Economically, Miami is one of Florida's most important urban centers. It is a leader in finance, commerce, culture, arts, and international trade. The Miami metropolitan area has the largest urban economy in Florida, with a 2023 gross domestic product of $533.674 billion. That figure places Miami in the same conversation as major global city regions, not just vacation destinations. Its economy is diverse, but many of its strengths are linked to its international role. Businesses use Miami as a platform for reaching Latin American and Caribbean markets, while residents and visitors support major industries in real estate, hospitality, retail, healthcare, education, and professional services. Miami's economic power comes from being both a regional center for South Florida and an international bridge between the United States and the wider hemisphere. Downtown Miami is especially important because it contains one of the largest concentrations of international banks in the United States. This is not accidental. Miami's financial sector grew alongside its trade relationships, migration links, and business connections with Latin America. For many companies and investors, Miami offers a U.S. legal and financial environment while remaining culturally and geographically close to Spanish-speaking markets. That combination makes it attractive for banking, corporate offices, international services, and regional headquarters. The presence of major national and international companies reinforces the city's role as a commercial hub. In practice, downtown Miami operates as a place where money, language, law, and global relationships meet. It is one reason Miami has a reputation not merely as a beach city, but as a serious center of international business. Miami's identity is also shaped by its population. It is a majority-minority city, and as of 2020, 70.2% of the city's population identified as Hispanic or Latino. This demographic reality is central to how Miami sounds, works, celebrates, and connects to the world. Spanish is woven into daily life, business, media, politics, food, music, and public culture. The city has strong commercial and cultural ties to Latin America, which is why it is often called the gateway to Latin America, and sometimes even the capital of Latin America. These phrases are not official titles, but they capture something real. Miami is a place where Latin American communities are not peripheral, they are foundational. Its cultural influence comes from migration, family networks, entrepreneurship, media, art, and constant exchange across borders. Calling Miami the gateway to Latin America means more than saying it has a large Hispanic population. It describes a structural role. Miami connects people, goods, ideas, capital, and culture between the United States and Latin America. A company might manage Latin American operations from Miami. A family might maintain ties across countries while living in South Florida. A bank might serve clients with international interests. Artists, musicians, journalists, and entrepreneurs can reach audiences across the hemisphere from the city. This gives Miami a unique atmosphere compared with many other U.S. cities. It is American, but not culturally isolated within the United States. Its international orientation is part of everyday life. The city acts less like an endpoint and more like a meeting place, where different national stories and economic networks overlap. Healthcare is another major part of Miami's urban importance. The city's health district is home to several major University of Miami-affiliated hospitals and health facilities. Among them is Jackson Memorial Hospital, described as the nation's largest hospital with 1,547 beds. The district also includes the Miller School of Medicine, the University of Miami's Academic Medical Center and Teaching Hospital, and other institutions involved in care and research. This concentration matters because major hospitals do more than treat local patients. They train medical professionals, support research, attract specialists, and serve regional and international populations. In a city connected to Latin America and the Caribbean, medical institutions can become part of a broader network of care. Miami's healthcare sector adds another layer to its identity as a service and knowledge hub. Port Miami is one of the most recognizable engines of Miami's global role. It is the city's seaport and is known as the busiest cruise port in the world in both passenger traffic and cruise lines. That status links Miami directly to the Caribbean, tourism, shipping, hospitality, and international travel. Cruise ports are not just places where ships dock, they are massive logistical systems involving terminals, workers, transportation, hotels, suppliers, security, and tourism services. For many visitors, Port Miami is their first or last impression of the city. Its activity supports restaurants, taxis, hotels, retail, entertainment, and related businesses across the region. The port also reinforces Miami's image as a city oriented toward the ocean. Its economy has been built around movement, and Port Miami is one of the clearest examples. Tourism remains one of Miami's defining industries, but it is larger and more complex than beach vacations. The Miami metropolitan area is the second most visited city or metropolitan statistical area in the United States after New York City, with over 4 million visitors in 2022. Visitors come for beaches, nightlife, cruises, shopping, art, business, conventions, family visits, healthcare, and cultural events. This steady flow of people keeps Miami visible on the global stage. It also supports a large service economy and helps explain the city's international feel. Tourism feeds the hospitality industry, but it also amplifies Miami's brand. The city is sold through images of sun and style, yet its appeal also depends on diversity, language, food, architecture, and connections to other parts of the world. Miami's importance comes from the way its pieces fit together. It is a coastal city, a major metro region, a financial center, a cultural crossroads, a healthcare hub, a cruise capital, and a bridge to Latin America. Its city proper is not enormous by national standards, but its metropolitan reach, skyline, economy, and international networks give it outsized influence. Miami's story is also a reminder that cities are not defined only by population counts. They are defined by what flows through them: people, money, ships, languages, ideas, and ambitions. Miami's rise reflects geography, migration, and global connectivity all working together. That is why the city can be both a symbol of leisure and a serious center of commerce. Miami is not just a destination. It is a gateway. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.